in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Right into members present. Barston, no. Holtberg.
Yes.
T. Reichman, yes. Zavadil.
Yes.
A. Reichman.
Yes.
Yes. LeGrid, no. Ogdahl, no. All right. Looking for a motion to approve the agenda, and now with somebody being remote, we have to do roll call?
Yeah.
Everyone. All right.
Moved.
So moved by Zavadil,
I'll second.
second by Holtberg. All right. Zavadil.
Yes.
T. Reichman, yes. Holtberg.
Yes.
A. Reichman.
Yes.
All right, motion carries. Visitor comments.
I'd like to speak if I could, please.
Absolutely.
My name is John Recker, and at the last meeting, my wife Mandy here spoke to you about the widespread and pervasive sexual harassment that's gone on at Minnewaska for well over a year now. I've been contacted by many parents reaching out to tell me the stories of how their kids have been mistreated, including sexually harassed at this school. Just this week, a new parent reached out, asking for the names of the boys that we named to see if their situation involved the same kids. Their daughter has been sexually harassed for 2 straight years here at Minnewaska, with nothing being done to stop it. That's actually happening in the sophomore class. My daughter Sophie is going to be in that sophomore class. During this school year, she reported to me one day of a friend of hers being sexually assaulted in the hallway here. The very next day, I reported that to a school counselor. No investigation was done on that. That's unlawful. I reported sexual assault. Something should have been done.
I would clarify, just so you know, we're not supposed to speak during public forum, but you're completely false. There was a complete independent investigation, and you know what, and because somebody's gonna watch this, we hired a complete investigation. It was investigated, and all of your claims were found unfounded. And I'm not saying that, I don't wanna, John and everybody in here, I don't wanna dispute what you're saying, but we hired an independent investigation. There were 96 pages of documents. Everyone was questioned and interviewed. And we're at a crossroads. We wanna do anything and everything we can, because what it says right here, the well-being of each and every kid, and we've investigated. And so I just wanna share with everybody, it's not that nothing was done, something was done. And we, just like you're working with attorneys, as are we. So it's just not fair to say that. Second thing is, I know it's your own daughter, but honestly, you're in a public forum, you're not really supposed to mention anybody's names, just so you're aware.
Okay, I won't mention
Okay.
my daughter's name again. I apologize. I didn't know I couldn't mention my own daughter's. I won't then. That's my bad. I apologize.
No, it's not,
If you're speaking about the Title IX investigation, that's not what he's referring to.
I'm
here.
referring to an actual assault that I mentioned to a counselor.
So,
That had nothing to do with the Title IX that we brought
I
up.
mean,
I mentioned it
it's
to a
relevant.
counselor in person, so that didn't actually involve the investigation that you are saying or speaking about.
Can I just, this can be tricky with time limits. Anyway, the Minnesota statute of, defining sexual assault, I'm aware of this because I'm a sexual assault nurse examiner. And so I've had 40 hours of training in sexual assault. It defines sexual assault as any unwanted contact between one person and another, including touching of the breasts, the genitals, or the buttocks. That's what, it's a separate incident that we're discussing.
All right, if you wanna keep going, John, we'll
Yeah.
give you a little more time since we
Okay.
got a little.
So after our investigation was started, I did contact the school to ask why nothing was stopping regarding the investigation we brought forward. I was told because we weren't reporting it, they assumed it had stopped. I then had my student start reporting every instance. I do believe in March she reported 13 times she witnessed sexual harassment herself.
March to May.
That seems pretty widespread. We've been told it's not widespread. 13 times seems pretty widespread. Each of those by law, according to a federal investigator, should have launched a new investigation because we reported sexual harassment. We were never questioned, so I have to assume it was not investigated, even though we were the ones that brought those reports to the school. As of now, at least 2 government agencies are investigating the school on how our case was handled. Hopefully now that the state and federal level are investigating the school, somebody will contact us on what is actually going to be meaningfully done to protect the students that are being harassed here. Because at this point, it doesn't seem like anything meaningful has been done. At least you won't openly discuss it with us. We did ask to talk privately with the board about this in the last week. That was not an option according to them, so that is why we are here again publicly speaking about it. Until the last meeting, we have tried to do it behind closed doors and keep it private. If the school chooses not to meaningfully address the problem, then in this forum is the space I guess we have to talk about it. That's all I have to say right now. I do believe my daughter Evelyn would like to speak too.
Okay, floor is open.
Hello, my name is Evelyn Recker. John and Mandy are my parents, and I'm going into freshman class this fall. So a little bit about me is I'm the girl that would get pushed and shoved in the hallways, ran into, I would get called the reporter, and threats were made against me because I reported sexual harassment. I would have to leave the school, or my parents would pull me out because I would get physically ill or feel unsafe in this environment. But whenever I would cough or sneeze then, people would make fun of me saying, oh, I should just go home then because I'm always so sick. But the school is a safe space, and adults at the school always say to act the Laker way. But if ignoring your students and allowing sexual harassment and assault to happen between literal children is the Laker way, I don't want to be a Laker anymore. That's all.
Okay, floor is open. Anyone else?
Well, I would share, the board, unfortunately, they're in session. I'm not one member of the board, I'm an ex officioso. I'm sorry. I've got to watch you the last 4 years, because I have a daughter going to 9th grade just like you, and I've seen you play sports, I've seen you in our school, and if any of those things that you're reporting, and I know you're an honest girl, happen, I'm sincerely sorry. And I know there's a lot of things you don't see, because just like this meeting, you're not allowed to say certain names, you can't do certain this. We have an SRO here, we have 3 mental health people, we have a nurse, we work with doctors, we work with the hospital. So I'm gonna tell you, you don't necessarily see it, but there are a lot of things that do take place that you can't really, because it involves others, and it involves minors, and it involves this. There's a lot of investigations that occur that unfortunately a lot of people don't know about, right? Because there are a lot of rules, and so we do, and I'm sorry. Because I know you're a Laker, and I know you're a great Laker, and I can only tell you this. We're gonna do everything we can to make sure that you feel like you're proud to be in our building, and I know you're working hard to change things, and I'm proud of you, so just keep being a leader. You maybe don't see it every day, and it isn't a thing you walk in here and you see, but I can tell you what, every one of us and our entire staff is working to make sure that whatever improvements we can make. So I know it's not enough, but just know that we're aware and we are trying hard. Okay?
All right, anybody else from the floor tonight?
My name is Eric Randleman. I emailed you in February, Mr. Rankin. I waited 5 weeks for a response, and then I followed up with a second email asking if you had received my email, because I received no response. You responded by going back to the original email, not the one where I asked for a response. You replied and included both of the principals and the SRO, telling me that you appreciated my concerns, but you did not share my perspective, even though what I was telling you were the things that my children were reporting to me. Things that we're hearing tonight are coming from an independent source of children. I have 2 daughters in this school, and I can tell you that what you are hearing tonight is not being made up. There's intimidation, there's bullying, and there's retaliation of these children that are trying to speak up. And when they start to see their friends treated this way, they shut down and they want the problem to go away. They don't want to see their parents getting stressed out, they just want it to go away and they want to be quiet. And that is the situation we're in. And I'm gonna tell you, the parents that are seeing this stuff, we're not gonna go away and we're not gonna stop. We're gonna keep changing our tactics to protect our children, but we're not gonna go away. This has to be addressed. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else from the floor? Anybody else from the floor tonight? Last chance, anybody else from the floor? All right. Moving on. All right, number 5, special recognitions and honors.
Well, you couldn't open the paper without seeing a number of recognitions. Tonight, we're gonna recognize our West Central Conference team champions, our boys and girls golf, our girls track and field, and our Laker baseball team. I think you saw a lot of state tournaments just finished up. We had spring tournaments for the girls golf team. We're runner-up in Section 3AA. We also sent several individuals. So Riley Larson, I think you finished, I thought I read in the paper today, 21st, 27th, somewhere in the top 30. Girls golf, Miss DeBoer and Arivia DeBoer and Ava Coleman, they both qualified. I think I saw they placed somewhere in there, but I don't know specifics. I know track and field, the girls team was runner-up state, true team, where they were in the top 3. And then you can see all of our state reps, we wanna recognize them. Gabe Eisenbach was named Section 5A track and field. And then the trap shooting team, I think I have actually a board member that was personally there. Angie, I know our team were state champions. They advanced to the state finals. Is that true? Can you share any updates?
Yep, Section 2A, last Tuesday we shot, and our first time ever we placed first place out of about 40 teams that day, maybe 30. And then we shoot Friday for a state championship. Top 40 teams go against each other, so kind of a shoot off. And then also the individuals in the afternoon, we had 3 members make the top 100 in the state, so very successful year for the track team. Thanks.
Cool. And a proud mom, because didn't little Augie shoot 99 out of 100 out of the blue? I mean, he's a good shooter, but that was a pretty remarkable run. So.
It was out of the blue. Yeah, he's very, very pleased.
That's very cool. So congratulations to all.
All right, thank you. So number 6, looking for approval of the minutes from the last meeting from May 22nd.
So moved.
Second, Holberg, Zvadil, roll call vote, Zvadil.
Yes.
T. Reichman, yes. Holberg.
Yes.
A. Reichman.
Yes.
All right, motion carries. Moving on to number 7, summary of bills. Mr. Superintendent Rankin.
Well, there's gonna be a lot of flurry of bills as we wrap up the end of the year, so I just wanna pull those up. Drew and I went through them today. I don't think there's anything that's out of whack here. We did, I don't know if we made the purchase order, but we are adding a kiln over the elementary school. I think that might be in here. So I just thought I'd share that. That's a shared, it's a grant. And so that's a shared expenditure. What else? Drew, anything else you wanna mention here? Pam Palmer.
Yeah, the Palmer one is a big one going tomorrow. That's our final, like usage billing for special ed and for activities for the month of May. So after this one, there won't be a whole lot from Palmer for a while. Other than that, there isn't really a whole lot out of the ordinary or any like significant dollar amounts that sort of stood out to me. If there's any like questions that you guys have on any of them that you might want a little bit more follow-up on, we can pull them out here, pull them out in the hallway out there out of the filing cabinet.
I think suffice to say that we're gonna be closing the books on fiscal year 23. I think we're gonna be right at the budget to actual, like within 2%.
Yeah.
We probably, because we knew we had a fund balance, we're on a board, basically our board goal. We bought some equipment this year for snow removal. So you got a skid steer, We got snow removal over at the elementary because we didn't have much.
Significant,
We made some upgrades.
investment in the curriculum.
Yeah. Activities, so, and I think the thing is, when you go out there and you might see like that robot, well, 90% of the time, almost like 100% of the time, it's a third and a third and a third. So we take concession stand money, we take Laker Foundation money, and then we use some of the fund balance the board has to make capital improvements. So when you see that, a lot of people come up like, well, I've had a couple superintendents, how do I get one of those? Well, sell a lot of hot dogs in the winter, and then you build up but that's what it is. A lot of those purchases, the golf cart, all those things, so nothing out of line, so I'd recommend approval tonight.
All right, any other questions about the bills? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by Zavadil, looking for second by Holberg. Roll call vote, Zavadil.
Yep.
T. Reichman, yes. Holberg.
Yep.
A. Reichman.
Yes.
Motion carries. Number 8, superintendent report.
I just start with people first. I think we're completely hired. We did get the grant, we got the ADSIS grant. So we were able to hire some interventionists. You don't really approve those till the July board meeting, cause, they're not, you'll have to approve the budget, and then we'll all see the positions in July. So our interventionists, they you laid off back in March. We'll be bringing them back. So I think we're fully staffed. Elementary, we hired a preschool teacher. We hired a custodian, so we had a resignation. The only thing we're not fully staffed is, we're posted for some kitchen. We'll need some paras, maybe potentially this fall. But we'll see when our enrollment is here in the middle of August, and we'll have a job, maybe a job fair. Last year, we did actually hire 5 people off the job career fair. So we'll look at happening again. So I think people were fully hired. Buildings and facilities. The big piece that you're gonna find is that, if you go in the auditorium, they've replaced the screen that got installed last week. Carpet's getting installed in all the buildings as we speak. I was over at the basement of Starbucks, that ECFE or that preschool room is getting all new carpeted tiles going in. Over here, there's a lot of new carpet going in. After the 1st of July, there'll be a whole new iron filtration system going into this building. That'll be getting installed. There's been a lot of pool problems, like more than normal, just pumps and leaks. There was a condenser or something that leaked a bunch of water. We thought, it hasn't rained, so it can't be off the roof. But that's been an issue. So over here, pretty much that's been the cleaning and just the repair work. The auditorium's gonna be warm. That HVAC unit's not gonna replace till October. We approved the HVAC project over here above the gym to get replaced. And we did approve the boiler replacement plan over at Starbucks. You're gonna get a new boiler in there this summer. It'll be in there before October, so it'll be a high efficiency to move the old one. So as the one will run 50, it'll be a backup, and then we'll have a new one that going in there. And then they were over there and they replaced a lot of the leaks in the roofs over at Starbucks. So that's getting taken care of. And over at the elementary, carpet replacement. And then they're gonna be going through the HVAC units one by one, testing to see if there's any stress in the motor. So that's facilities, programming. Right now we have 5 staff up at the We Got This Summit up in DL. So that's going down. You'll see some information coming out about boot camp. That'll be the second 2 weeks of August. First week of August, the 1st and the 2nd, which is a Tuesday and Wednesday, we'll have our data retreat. And we discussed that Wednesday, the August 2nd, would be a good time to have our district advisory committee. It's post-Waterama, and it'd be an opportunity to announce our kickoff for the tech levy. So I think we got that piece lined up. Curriculum, everything's getting close to the books here. I would say our Roma State Studies, that was good. And tonight you're gonna approve a budget that was the same budget we went through 2 weeks ago at the board retreat. And the numbers really haven't fluctuated. I'd say the only ripple effect that might take down is that we are getting pushed to spend our COVID dollars much faster. So we're being asked to sometimes spend money before the end of September. So as we look at closing out the books, Drew's looking to see if we actually have to close out the books like June 30th, is that this fiscal year? So we can do some things, but otherwise, I don't know of any significant issues. I think we're staffed, a lot of maintenance getting done. It's very busy. You can see our campus really never turns off. And we're in full summer mode. Questions, concerns? That's my report from tonight. Investment report, really no change. Same interest rate, no issues there. Food service, I would just say as we close things out, we're gonna get our final debt. So at some point we'll have to take a look at that. My recommendation is if we, you know, as we close out the books this year, if we have to spend some cash, we would, I don't know, what's our debt at, Drew? Have you seen it?
For food service, I think 5 or 6 grand is what I had heard most recently, but that might have changed.
So I do wanna thank all the work that went into that, because when people heard we had free meals, I think they thought it was instant, so people stopped paying their lunch tab. So we did a lot of calling, I think that's gone well. Some improvements in the kitchens, but not much, and we still don't have any guidance on what free meals will look like. The webinar, and we gotta work through that. Revenues and expenditures gonna look a little wonky. We probably actually have like 95% of our revenue, because we got our second installment from taxes, and so we'll be closing up the books there. But I think tonight you're gonna see a revised budget that's pretty tight, you know, because we also budgeted 1216, we kinda hover around 1278. So we kinda intentionally spend some fund balance and get the benchmark. So then, let's see, that's number 8, so I don't think you already did that approval. Oh, sorry, consider accounts claims, you already did that, sorry. Let's go to Mr. Chair or Vice Chair, I'd recommend going to number 9.
Alright. And you did,
Donations.
okay, number 9, consider the donations and accepting them. Yep, so
Second.
motion by Holberg, second by Zavadil. Roll call vote, Parsons, not here, Zavadil.
Yep.
T. Reichman, yes, Holberg.
Yes.
A. Reichman, the motion carries.
Yes.
Alright, consent calendar, number 10. Need a motion on that?
Yeah, just a lot of hires for this fall, I think. We are totally hired for all of our coaches and advisors for the fall season, unless something changes. This custodian here is a replacement for a resignation. And so this is our coaching staff for coaches and advisors for the fall. So I'll recommend that, and then the change of status, this is just our administrative move, you know, and I would just say we built a fund balance in the tech levy, so that's how we're paying for this. And then she's also not full-time. And then we were able to find, Reggie Brooks, as we moved Jeremy into his role, we backfilled Jeremy's role of Reggie, so you'll see a change of assignment there, or change of status. And then resignations, you can just see here, this is just people that are resigning in the spring. I anticipate we're gonna see more, just that with, people getting, unemployment, we best did not resign until the end of the summer, so I wouldn't be surprised if then the summer we see a few more resignations, which might make it a little more tricky, but this is tonight's consent calendar. Like I shared, the grant positions you'll see in July. You gotta approve the budget first.
Alright, so
Make a
back,
motion to approve.
there we go. Motion by Zavadil. Holberg second. Roll call vote, Zavadil.
Yes.
T. Reichman, yes. Holberg.
Yes.
A. Reichman,
Yes.
motion carries.
Number 11 is the Gatsby. So I'll turn this over to Drew. Basically, you know how we pay for severance, that list's getting smaller, but it's an evaluation that's done by a bunch of bean counters, so Drew?
Yeah, so this is, we didn't have any, retirements this year that were eligible for severance, so that's why this change of $1,943 is relatively small compared to last year, years past, when we've, had people actually, retire. So that is, it's a positive increase, or it reduces the projected, the severance, so.
What do we have for retirees this year? No, nobody?
There's one we're gonna talk about after the board meeting.
Okay.
Right now, we don't, we have,
We don't have any official. Okay.
there's one pending. or
Yeah.
just been the next 48 hours?
Pretty much, status quo for the GASB valuation here.
Make a motion to approve. Alright, motion by Zavadil, seconded by
I'll second.
Wolberg. Roll call vote. Zavadil. Yes. T-Reichman. Yes.
The
Wolberg.
boringest
Yes.
stuff ever.
And A. Reichman.
Yes.
I'll hold out next time.
Motion carries. Number 12.
Revised budget, Mr. Chair, you can see that we, this is a revised budget for the year as we went through. Just a reminder, we were intentional about spending some fund balance, you met your board goal, so we were able to put some money into facilities, buy some improvements on snow removal. And we invested quite a bit of, the majority of the overage, which you can see up there is about $500,000, was mainly curriculum. So we committed to that because a lot of this, because we bought curriculum last spring, but because it didn't come till after June 30th, we had to take it out this fiscal year. So you took math, science, and English language arts all in the same year. That's why it's a little more this year, but we have the money, so I'd recommend approval of the revised budget for this year. Anything you'd add?
Yeah, no, it kind of comes down to big ticket, sort of one-off items that kind of make up the difference there, like Chip said, curriculum, some snow removal equipment, other stuff that sort of comes up throughout the year that kind of is where we're spending out, some fund balance there. And it's always subject to change depending on how, much grant money we decide to draw based on this year versus next year, and, yeah.
So you're still sitting on $550,000 in COVID money, and we could make this, you could make money this year if you wanna go code it all off, but my recommendation is you're right at fund balance, and if we have to code some things off, we put it in restricted account for our future facility, cause you can see some things we wanna do. So, we even, we had an activity just happen about 3 weeks ago, the turf people were on town, so they went and seen some things up and they fluffed up our turf, and then they go through it. You can, if you do this every 5 years, you're gonna get another 3 or 4 years out of it, and we're, turf expectancy is like 12 years, but up here they're finding it's more like 15 to 18 because our turf's covered with snow like half the year,
Not
so.
getting used.
Morris
Doesn't
is
get
on
used.
about 40, aren't they?
Huh?
Morris is on about
Yeah,
40.
I don't know. if
They're
I'm
doing
gonna
something
say.
over there.
New college.
They're tougher.
Same stuff that was in the dome. Just the carpet.
Alright, I'll entertain a motion
I'll
for
make
the
a motion to approve the budget.
I'll second.
Holberg and
I'm gonna let
Zavadil.
you
Any
say
other
that.
discussion? If not, roll call vote. Zavadil.
Yes.
T. Reichman, yes. Holberg.
Yes.
A. Reichman.
Yes.
Number 13.
Alright, Drew,
So, the 2024 budget, this is, based on 1,270 students.
so that's
like-
really important to notice, we've been building everything off 1260, we graduated 76 seniors. We are anticipating over 90 kindergartners, so we should see an increase of 16 kids overall, bare bones, and we finished the year at 1278. So we anticipate we should be in the 1290s, maybe touch 1300, but we're building the budget on 1270, that's why our revenues are probably a little lighter. You can see 21.8 on the general fund, or 25.4. So tonight, we're asking you to divide, and this is, putting all of our dollars into estimates into, negotiations. So we had to build everything in for next year.
Yeah, it's based on
And
the
this is no COVID
updated
money?
staffing as far as we know right now, and that's always subject to change, but as of right now, this includes all of our hires, everybody,
And you can see right here, there'd be 550 that would go right here on COVID that just sits in restricted accounts, so it doesn't come in here. But basically, the email we got today is it's pretty loose on what we could code off. But talking to our facilities committee, we're gonna try to do one off, so HVAC unit over there, HVAC unit over here. We don't know what the boiler can do, but trying to work those pieces.
and some of the stuff, there was a lot of changes in the legislature this year when it comes to 4% and all of these new sort of, revenue streams and how the money's gonna get passed along to us. Like Chip had mentioned earlier, for food service, for example, they passed the free meals for all, but they haven't passed along any information on like reimbursement rates or what we're gonna see for revenue wise, so this is for food service especially, that's sort of just based off of, the COVID year when we got free meals from the federal government. And so, a lot of the stuff, this is just our best guess. They passed along some, worksheets from down at the state that sort of give a run based on, our enrollment, pretty reduced enrollments, so that's what we sort of used to put together the revenue side, for general fund.
The revenue thing they gave us was on 1258.
Yeah,
Well, we have more than 1,258 kids, but that's how they're generating your revenue. So, and we're gonna be sending probably 1,290.
yeah,
All 32 kids at 14.5 a piece is, it's a lot, yeah, it's a lot of money, so what you're really adopting tonight is a general idea of a budget, and we had to put a lot of assumptions in negotiations, so we'll see how good the personnel committee is.
yeah. As always, every year when we approve the budget, it's gonna be our best guess at that time, so this is our, best estimate as of right now.
Alright.
That sounds good. One thing, that kinda came out of that work session, kinda that cheat sheet we talked about, how some of these new changes, just some estimates of how much that could cost the district moving forward would be helpful. I know it's premature still, but I think that's gonna be.
But I think we'll
super
know, I think we'll know by the 1st of August, cause we're getting a lot of unemployment requests.
So yeah, unemployment would probably be the first thing that sort of is coming through
Yeah.
now, that we'll see, that, yeah, in August, we'd be able to see, this is really what the cost of that, change down in the legislature led to. And then other things, I know we talked about sort of different changes, like account by account from year to year. We have a new, agreement with Palmer for next year,
Yep.
so that's a
All of those.
significant increase in there, and there's things that just,
Perfect.
add up together.
That all sounds good. Any other questions or concerns? Otherwise, be looking for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Holtberg. Second by Zavajo. All right, roll call vote. Zavajo.
Yep.
T. Reichman, yes. Holtberg.
Yes.
A. Reichman.
Yes,
Perfect. Number 14.
This is the annual thing that we do each year with the Collier request, and it's a rollover of funds, correct?
Yeah, this is the donation that we got. Vicky would be able to give you a little bit more information about the exact details of it, but we didn't spend anything out of it this year. It's related to music, so it's the exact same.
I would estimate that this will turn into zero before the end of next year. We're anticipating somebody might retire, and they really made a donation, and he's been able to really do a lot with that, so.
All right. I'll entertain a motion on the Keller fund.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Zavajo makes a motion,
I'll
second
second.
by Holtberg. Roll call vote. Zavajo.
Yes.
T. Reichman, yes. Holtberg.
Yes.
A. Reichman.
yes,
All right, moving on to number 15.
So this is what I mentioned earlier, Mr. Vice. At the end of the day, we may be asked to spend some money out of our COVID account sooner. And if we code it off, then we would take the unrestricted fund balance and put it in our restricted account for future building and grounds expenditures.
Yeah, sounds good to me. Any
So like the
other
boiler over there.
comments?
You're doing some of that work now, that needs to get done
Yeah.
because we're down to one, and it's bigger in this room to begin with, so. This is just creating the account, right?
Sounds good. I'll make a motion to approve.
Holtberg makes a
I will
motion, second by Zavajo. Roll call vote. Zavajo.
Yes.
T. Reichman, yes. Holtberg.
Yes.
A. Reichman.
yes,
Moving on to number 16.
About 2 months ago, I shared with the personnel committee, we're basically able to increase LTD insurance coverage. And they switch companies, so it's kind of a wash for cost, but coverage is extremely higher. Personnel committee all approved it, so you're not taking really any money out of the general fund. They went to a different company, it was better coverage and cheaper.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Zavajo makes a motion,
I'll second.
second by Holtberg. Roll call vote. Zavajo.
Yes.
T. Reichman, yes. Holtberg.
Yes.
A. Reichman.
yes,
Number 17, Spark 27.
We met just the board work session, and I think the consent was that we would move forward, as our, basically our communications plans, we're doing our technology levy, so that's, work's already started. And so I think we had the discussion, and we're talking less than 1% for probably the increase we're gonna get on 1 year, so. I recommend approval. Katie and her team have done a phenomenal job, and
Sure, I'll make a motion to approve. All right, motion by Zavadil,
I'll second.
second by Holberg. Roll call vote, Zavadil.
Yep.
T. Reichman, yep. Holberg,
Yes.
A. Reichman.
Yes.
All right, moving on, number 18.
as we do every year, we, as you can see, we lose students to graduation. We have kids that move out, so when we add paras through the year, we employ them throughout the entire year, even though we lose kids. So we're reducing 2 personnel this spring, and then we'll repulse this fall once we get our students enrolled, and we'll typically hire back in September, October.
All right, any other discussion? Otherwise, I'm looking for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Holberg makes a motion to approve. Any seconds?
I'll second.
Roll call vote, Zavadil.
Yes.
T. Reichman, yes. Holberg.
Yes.
A. Reichman.
Yes.
Motion carries.
19 are the 2 pairs that we're going to be cutting.
All right, so, motion, looking for a motion for cutting Matea Jurgensen.
Make a motion to approve.
Holberg makes a motion to approve. Any seconds?
I will second.
Second by Zavadil. Roll call vote, Zavadil.
Yes.
T. Reichman, yes. Holberg.
Yes.
A. Reichman.
Yes.
Motion carries. Now, paraprofessional Louis Folkman, looking for a motion
I'll
to.
make a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
I'll
by
second.
Zavadil. Second by A. Reichman.
Got one. I didn't wanna wait for her.
All right, moving on to the vote.
Yes.
Roll call vote, Zavadil.
Yes.
T. Reichman, yes. Holberg.
Yes.
A. Reichman.
Yes.
Motion carries. Number 20, membership renewals.
Renewing our memberships in the MREA, MSBA, and Lakes Country Service Co-op. Their contracts are listed here, but, we're members of these organizations, and they advocate for us, so I'd recommend approval. And it's
Okay.
already built in the budget you approved, just so you know.
All right, looking for a motion on the memberships.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Holberg makes a motion, second.
I'll second.
Zavadil, roll call vote, Zavadil.
Yes.
T. Reichman, yes. Holberg.
Yes.
A. Reichman.
Yes.
Looking for, number 21, quotes for snow removal and softener salt.
We recommend that we go out for 2 years instead of every year, so there's some predictability out there, so
Yeah, I'm good with it.
we're gonna try to go for 2 years.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Zavadil makes a motion, looking for a second.
I'll second.
Holberg seconds. Roll call vote, Zavadil.
Yes.
T. Reichman, yes. Holberg.
Yes.
A. Reichman.
Yes.
Motion carries. Number 22,
Second reading handbooks, I know next month it's gonna be very busy because of legislature, but this is just a second reading, so I recommend approval so it can be adopted, and then we can post, start running copies for student handbooks in early August.
all right, looking for a motion.
I'll make a motion.
A. Reichman makes a motion, second by Zavadil. Roll call vote, Zavadil.
Yes.
T. Reichman, yes. Holberg.
Yes.
A. Reichman. Motion
Yes.
carries. All right, number 23.
Basically, you gotta approve that we are approved for the MDE to have flexible learning calendar, lets us start before Labor Day.
Yeah.
So we're approved for next year on the calendar, we've advertised out, you just need to approve and adopt it. Now that MDE's giving me approval,
There's no vote on this though, right?
right, I think it's
You just.
basically so you know that MDE has approved our school calendar that you approved back in February. So it's informational only.
Okay. Any questions on that? All right, any other new business or business that needs to come before the board?
I would just say, as we look at the board meeting, we probably need to get the personnel committee, before the next board meeting, so our next board meeting, I think, is right here on the 17th. So, you know, I know it gets really busy, the district office is closed for the 4th of July, cause they clean everything. But I'll be getting with the personnel committee, finance committee is pretty good. Policy committee is gonna be super busy, but our next board meeting is on the 17th. Then I would recommend, as we kick off, district advisory on August the 2nd. We would invite people in, and then it would basically give you 5 weeks to try to bring 5 friends to the district advisory, and we'll get that list out to everybody knows who they are. And it's post-Waterama, so it shouldn't be quite as crazy, but it's not fall sports season yet, so that doesn't kick off. So, and then I'm gonna work with Phil, because I think this might be sports night too, sports orientation, so you'd have 200 parents come out here anyway, so it wouldn't be so bad if it was, you know, we'll keep it under an hour, just to let everybody know, because the press release will be kicking out right after that. So we'll be going through that piece, and then just looking at August, this is, like I said, data retreat. This is our board meeting, typically right here. This is our first day of school, so new teacher workshop, so, yeah, you know, I know it sounds crazy out there, but, you know, this is our, first day of school, and then typically, you know, we don't have school, and this is Labor Day weekend, so we usually have that home football game and tennis on the 31st. So I'm thinking really, we're gonna put some calendar events, so between now and then the July board meeting, we'll put events for board members to maybe attend and talk about the tech levy. But I would just say, if it's possible, I'll have to go look at the calendar, but, having a kickoff during our homecoming, but also our first game, a party on the patio, where with all the board, you know, talking tech levy. So, that's all I have, Mr. Vice.
All right, anything else? Otherwise, I'll be looking for a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Zavadil makes a motion, second by
I'll second.
Holberg, roll call vote, Zavadil.
Yes.
T. Reichman, yes. Holberg,
Yes.
A. Reichman,
Yeah.
thank you.